Hi, I'm Glenn Whipp with the Los Angeles Times. HBO comedy Togetherness premiered this year. It's about a quartet of people kind of dealing with life, relationships, career, all kinds of issues. Joining us from the cast, Amanda Peet.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So I read that we're getting into your character, Tina. I mean, the key to her, for you discovering this woman in all her glory, was her wardrobe, right?
I think it makes a huge difference. Yes. When I when I wear those kinds of more provocative outfits and lots of jewelry and everything feels more desperate and tragic. So it helps me. And high heels.
Right.
You know.
Was all that built into the character, or did you kind of build that with the costume person?
We do it together, and Jay and Mark had a lot to say about it too. So I always wanted to wear really outlandish things and never know if it's too silly. So I always have to ask them. So they make sure that I'm not too over the top. It's been very interesting what they approve and what they don't approve.
Well, what is on the off list? What's not approved? Because I'm watching the show. I'm thinking, what would be too over the top for Tina? I don't know.
Well, just last week I tried on a bathing suit that had a lot of holes, not good for someone who gave birth 5 months ago, and then tassels all down the front. And I was willing to wear it. We shot it for them and they nixed it. So they do have standards.
So did you have to go back and find it? Did they just cut the scene, or
no? We offered them some other options
some
that
other
were
options on the swimsuit.
Less ridiculous.
Yeah. So that was one.
Yeah.
You're filming the second season.
We're filming right now. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So that would be an example of. But what is with her her closet, and how does that inform who you think she is?
Well, I mean, I'm at the point right now where when I go shopping, which is much more often than I should, my girlfriends and I will say, is this too junior? Is this age appropriate? And so when I'm looking for stuff for Tina, my character, I always think about that and think that she doesn't have that that censor. She just feels like she's still 25. So
right. If she was at a mall, Forever 21 would be
sure. Yeah. There's no place off limits for her. I think she's just looking to feel sexy and has a very kind of generic notion of what that is.
It'd be scary, like Abercrombie then.
Sure. Yes, Abercrombie. Exactly. She stuff herself into it.
Yeah. I have a 14-year-old daughter, so I know all these stores.
Exactly. Yes.
But when the character is in her early 40s, then maybe that's not a place she should be shopping.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. So when you auditioned for this,
I did.
Way back when.
Yes.
And you read with Steve Zissis, right?
Yes, I did.
Am I saying his last name right?
You are.
I love that last name,
yeah,
Zissis.
It's a great name.
And he knew the Duplass brothers from high school?
Yep, they all went to high school in New Orleans, and he was very close with, or is very close with Jay. He's, I think they were in the same year, yeah.
Okay, so you read with him, and he's got the part.
Yes.
he's a producer, he's on board. So, but I mean, it's a pretty relaxed reading. Those guys, I've met him. I mean, very low key. I bet in terms of auditions, it had to be a pretty fun one, right?
Yes, it was pretty raucous and fun, and but it's still an audition. You still, in the back of your mind, everyone in the room has the job except for you. So it's still
pressure.
Pressure, yes.
Yeah, there's not. It can't be like fun.
Yeah, it can't be. It can't be totally relaxed and easy.
And what'd you read? Like, what was
we read a couple times, but then we just kind of improvised. But a lot of what we did was me trying to get Steve off the couch to work out. So basically a kind of seduction scene where I was trying to get him to get off his bum and come help me.
Bum. Good choice for the LA Times video chat here. But yeah, she's very out there, isn't she, in that relationship with him?
Yeah, I think
with
she's kind of a
Alex.
loose cannon in general, and yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Loose cannon. So much fun to play, I bet, right?
It is really fun. It's really fun, and it's weirdly, the fact that they improvise a lot is really good for me with this character, because I think she, doesn't have the ability to self-censor really, and so when I'm improvising, it's fun to just kind of say anything, and so I'm in that state as an actor, and I'm sort of it also works for the character.
Is there anything that you can say that's like the swimsuit with the holes in it, too over the top, too much? Or do they, for Tina, is anything verbal?
They have told me, can you just swear a little bit less?
Yeah, that's the one note they give you.
They give me a lot of notes, but that's
Okay.
that's one that they give me from time to time, and my husband gives me that note too. So
In day-to-day life.
yes,
Yeah.
I'm a truck driver.
So that what we were talking about before the camera went on was true. Yeah, we have to watch your language here.
Yes,
You're
I
doing a
have
really
to.
admirable job. So
It's
far.
really hard for me.
Yeah.
I've already wanted to say,
These words are like going
Yeah.
through your head. But,
they're like
yeah.
flying across in my brain.
Yeah. Okay. What's the? I mean, the character. She's a lonely person, as everyone really on the show. There's like a desperation
Yeah.
that runs through all these characters, and yet it's funny too. I mean, there's a real art to what the Duplass brothers do with this, isn't
I
there?
think so. I think it's hard to, as they would say, it's very hard to thread it and find that tone where you're talking about real things and intimate domestic issues, but you aren't getting overly sentimental or overly earnest or relentlessly depressing, with this kind of subject matter. I think it can easily kind of get boring, for one thing, and also just depressing. And I think when I'm reading their scripts, every time I think, oh, is it about to get sentimental, or it's about to get, too domestic, or suburban ennui. We've seen this. They just cut it with something really funny or weird or just incredibly, incredibly insightful about our foibles.
Or a crazy kick the can game at
Or
a
a
party.
crazy kick the can game, or yeah.
You got to do a lot of like physical comedy too with that.
A fair amount.
I mean, the kick the can game. I can't remember. I think Tina pulled herself out pretty quick though of that, if I recall.
Yeah.
That was in that episode. You're talking about improvisation and how they encouraged that. There was a scene with you and Alex in that episode where you slap him. He kisses you, and Tina's not altogether pleased by that.
Yes.
And the slap was not in the script. That was you.
That was just us trying something. So sadly for Steve, sometimes if I'm being really true to my character, I am really a loose cannon and I'm liable to do anything. The other day we did a scene for this season and I was supposed to be drunk and I was kind of swatting him, or so I thought. And then when I woke up in the morning, my wrists hurt. And I thought, good God, if my wrists hurt, I wonder how Steve is.
Yeah.
I was like attacking him. So yeah, poor guy.
He has to take the brunt of this.
He does.
Yeah.
He does.
And there's also
He's a good sport.
Yeah. It's in the name of
a
good thing. The bouncy house too.
Oh yes,
Tina is
wrestling the bouncy house.
Party planner.
Yes.
Specializing, I guess, in the bounce houses. And yeah, there was the one episode where she's trying to get it inflated. It's just, it's a tragedy.
Yeah,
and
that
very
was-
much a metaphor for what's
Yes,
going
I
on.
couldn't
with her, right?
believe how fun that was to play and how fun it was to actually wrestle a bouncy castle and try to inflate a bouncy castle on my own. It was really tragic and a little bit dangerous and fun. Yeah, I loved that episode so much.
I think, and I can't remember. I know she's wearing white pants.
White pants and high heels and I mean, I have a torn labrum, which everyone knows on the set and on the crew. You know, so my hips are really bad because I'm so old. And everyone was very nervous when I was dealing with the bouncy castle, including me.
You had to be really careful with it.
I was like, is there a stunt person who can do this? Because, yeah.
But you're a mom. You have to have some experience with the bounce houses,
I think bouncy
right?
castles are really, truly dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah, every
From
time
personal experience.
there's a bouncy castle at a party, someone ends up in tears. More than one person.
Adults or the kids?
Everybody.
Yeah.
Somebody.
So you, as a rule, it sounds like you kind of steer clear of them.
We've never had a bouncy castle at the house. Yeah.
So you don't have a whole lot of personal experience with them.
No. I mean,
Yeah.
I've jumped in them and stuff, and my kids have gotten beaten up in them, and yeah.
Yeah. What about the episode where you're moving back, or you're going back to Houston to get your belongings? Tina's getting her belongings, and Alex is going with her. Oh my God. The cruelty in that episode.
Which part?
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
But
the cock block.
The cock block.
Am I allowed to say that?
Can we say that? I don't know. Yes.
Too late now.
It is a perfectly acceptable term. And well, I don't know.
I don't either.
My editor will tell you that I'm not the best judge when it comes to these things. But yeah, poor Alex was about to hook up with a very nice school teacher, an old friend of Tina's. And I love that episode because it revealed so much of her character, didn't it?
Yeah, I think even though I think it's sometimes people fall in love with people and they aren't aware that they're in love with someone or that they love someone, and it's usually a recipe for disaster when you're not self-aware enough to know what you want, and then you get drunk, and then that's not good. Not good.
Probably not good for the awareness on any level.
Yes.
But do you think that she kind of realizes then that she loves Alex?
I don't know.
Or
I don't know.
is it more of a competitive thing? Like she sees Alex happy with somebody else and not her, and she doesn't necessarily want to be with Alex, but she doesn't want him. She likes the attention that he gives her.
Yes, I think all of that's true. And I think when you're young and immature, you're an adolescent, you sometimes conflate those two things, or you mistake feeling competitive with being in love, or you are in love but you can't see it until somebody else takes that person away from you, and then you have this floodgate of emotion, and that's sort of what that episode was about for her, I guess.
But I love how you were saying when you're young and an adolescent.
Right, exactly.
Because she's shopping at
40.
Yeah. So it's a learning.
Yeah.
And then there's Larry.
Yeah.
Who, I mean, I love this show because there are no,
Stereotypes.
good characters, bad
Yeah.
characters. Larry seems like a nice enough guy.
Yeah.
And he sort of accepts Tina for who she is, right?
Yes, I think he somehow finds a peaceful way to deal with her. And so, yeah.
Yeah. Well, he's a producer. He's a Hollywood producer. He's used to dealing with
Tantrums?
and yeah, right, exactly, and adolescent behavior,
Yeah,
so
exactly.
immaturity.
Yeah.
So
He
he's
knows how to just stand
Right.
by and kind of wait for the storm to pass. And
right. But it would be boring television if the characters made good choices.
this is true. Heroes are boring.
Right.
Unadulterated heroes are boring, I guess.
So when she, at the end of the season, we can say this. The show's.
Oh yeah.
You were like, oh, you were like.
No, I was like,
you hated the choice.
well,
Is that the face? That
well,
I'm getting?
I mean, I love Steve.
Yeah.
I love Peter Gallagher too, but.
Yeah.
Um,
But she, she has to choose.
yeah.
Alex puts it out on the line. And Alex, talk about a character who actually did seem to grow over those 8 episodes. From where he was at the beginning to the end, remarkable.
Yeah.
He's got it together. And
Yeah.
you just, Tina can't do it because why do you think she makes that choice?
Well, I think for one thing, she's probably afraid way down deep because some people are so used to staying on a superficial plane, I think, that when something more profound comes along, it's like a foreign body that your own body wants to attack. I think she just wants to kind of run away. And yeah, I think she thinks it's a more adult choice because he's solvent and he's, peaceful and he's older and I'm sure she feels, a superficial kind of attraction to all of that. Right. He has all the accoutrements that are the right.
Yeah, that she's kind of been on the surface looking for.
Yes.
Yeah.
On the surface, yes.
So how far are you into season 2 right now?
We're halfway through, a little more than halfway through, I think. Yeah.
And I'm guessing that sort of drama is not going to go away. That sort of.
No, that's not going to go away.
Yeah, we would want it to, right?
Yeah.
Did you get a lot of? Did your friends watching the show, because it is set here in Los Angeles? You live here. What did your friends kind of have any comments about, like the people on the show or relatability or? Oh my God. Yeah,
a lot of people love the director. They love Mark and Mark, the character Mark plays. They love his whole relationship with the director and how they're starving in the sound booth. And
right.
The director's throwing away all this food and has no respect for Brett's desire to bring some artistry to this sort of small portion of the filmmaking. And I loved that, and a lot of my friends loved that part.
Yeah, Mark's character Brett, he goes out into the hills with his sound equipment to get
a real coyote, not a Holly. He's not going to Hollywood it.
Right, and then and the director is just a total, what can we say? Let's just say jerk.
I was going to say something else, but I got scared of your editor. She's like, thank you.
She is.
Thank you for living in fear.
Now you know my life every day.
Oh, living in fear. Okay. Interesting relationship.
Yeah. But we will.
It seems appropriate for an editor and journalist / interviewer / Yeah.
Stop there.
Stop there.
But what what he comes back and the director just wants. It's not even a coyote. It's like a wolf or somebody.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's an issue of whether it's authentic or not.
Yeah.
And,
who cares?
Again, it could be sort of annoying and inside baseball, and also who cares? But somehow, the Duplessis, I think they make it funny enough that it kind of sucks you into his dilemma and his outrage.
Yeah.
Which is what you need as an audience member.
That seems like I can't read an interview with you.
Where I'm not swearing? No, you can't.
That, yes. And so, I mean, we have something unique here today. But
well, it's not over.
Okay, just give it. All right.
How much more time before I can swear?
We'll see that clock there. It's counting down the minutes. But where you're saying somebody asked you about Game of Thrones because your husband, David Benioff, is the Game of Thrones guy.
Yes, he's the guy.
And everybody's saying, well, when is he going to put you on Game of Thrones? And even you, I was like, well, she must get tired of being asked that. But then there was like a question with, or a thing you did with Sarah Paulson, your friend, where
What did I do?
You guys brought it up
We did?
yourselves. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Like wearing,
That sounds
it's
like us.
it's about time.
Yeah.
Like, when is he going to put you on the show?
Yeah.
When is it?
Yeah.
So does any of this help?
Does any of this matter? No.
No. Does he
I
hear
will
any of
tell
this?
you,
Is he
I will
watching
tell
right
you
now?
that I was just recently in the car
Mhm.
with DB Weiss, David's
Mhm.
partner,
Yes.
and David, and Dan's wife, and they were talking about some character who's coming up. I won't say who it is, who is, a small, 3-episode arc,
Perfect.
my age.
Yes.
I can't tell you any more than that, and I said to David and Dan, can I do it? I want to do it. I'm not kidding. And the silence that fell upon the car was so heartbreaking. I can't even tell you. It was like, if you looked up in the dictionary, awkward silence, that's what that they could just cut to that. And then they kind of backpedaled and were like, oh, but she's got to be like this and, this and that. And I don't even remember what their excuses were, but they were dreadful. And basically, they just don't want me on the show.
And they've never articulated that.
Exactly. They pinpointed
yeah.
exactly why I can't be on the show. No. I don't know if it's like an accent thing. I try to do the accent and explain how I lived in London when I was little and I can do it. And they look at me like I have 5 heads, ugly
that'd be
heads.
good for the show. I mean, that could work, right? I don't know. Yeah. So it's still a work in progress. But you're not holding out.
I don't know if it's in progress in their opinion.
And do you ever mention, like, say, Judd Apatow, Leslie Mann? He writes great parts for his wife.
Please don't get me started on this. Please. There's like bile coming up inside of me.
Now the swearing is about to start, right?
Exactly. You baited me.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Look, I really love the show and I'm a big fan. And if they really think that I suck that much, I have to, I have to go with their opinion.
Yeah.
But it's hurtful and it's heartbreaking and I'm holding a grudge. I'll have you know.
Okay. Well, my advice would just be to keep having them watch Togetherness.
My publicist is like, could you not, please?
You still have Togetherness, a showcase.
Yes!
For your talents.
Yes.
And if you can't see it, the rest of us at least can, right?
Thank you for saying that.
All right.
I appreciate it.
Thank you for coming here today. It's great talking to you.
You too.
All right. And for more Emmy conversations, please go to latimes.com. Thank you.